I don't think they listen to you, McCormick.
What?
I don't think the officers listen to you.
Yeah,
420 to all units. 25 Mission Row PD briefing room. Briefing over the shootout situation now.
Property 722, Mission out.
Right then, Tay.
We still have...
Yeah.
Do we have somebody in ICU? We still have somebody at the hospital.
Yeah, Espino's is there.
Yes,
He's
but,
getting worked on still.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then my dad's in the office with.
No, I know he's
Knight.
talking to Brian, yeah.
Hey, quick question. Can I hear so I can learn about what happened in the
Yeah, you can
house?
hear. Yeah, you can listen.
Cheers.
Curtis got Angel and Cal for sure, not sure about Andrews. It doesn't matter who got who and how many kills they got. It's just the fact that it's kind of hard to be able to shoot somebody in a constantly moving vehicle that gets repaired and rearmored and whatnot. That's just you know, like just mag.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I didn't even know I was getting shot
What the
at.
fuck
until I
happened
was
to your
on the
hair?
ground. Don't worry about my hair. Let's worry. What we need to worry about is
Did you
less
have
about
lice
my
as
hair
well?
and more about the current situation. No, if I had
Tango
lice,
5.
why would my hair
Show me
be like
76
this,
to the latest
asshole?
I don't know. You might have a wig. Is that a wig, Fred?
No, it's not.
All right.
It's not- I just don't
Well,
have any
I think we're
product in my
missing
hair.
Espino's.
I gave Fred some of my products, okay?
Oh, okay. All right.
Hell yeah.
What's your RPKD?
Look at this room. This is how it should be.
Yeah,
So
it's how it
I'll,
should be.
I'll say one thing. Halfway through-ish, about when we got
We
into the
did
city,
call everything.
my camera on the helicopter got scuffed, so I had to do it from just looking out the window. So all those calls were from the window, so that's why they might have been not terrific. So I just want to put that out there. So I
Yeah,
apologize.
Sometimes some things go bad. We did have pretty good comms this time, I think.
Mission Row.
More or less when those cars were circling around, we were telling where they came from and whatnot. But let's wait for Espinos to arrive because I think he's coming right now. So
This is going to be
Andrews.
tainted by BCSO.
Andrew said you had good comms already, so
Yeah, you look
Really?
good.
yeah.
Look,
that's
the
why-
only
that's why
thing
I
that
told you to
happened
take
that was
control.
fucking weird was when we were in the tunnel and just like two cars just rolled up on us. I'm surprised no one had like saw there was no comms of the two cars entering into the tunnel. There was one black color car and one white car that entered in, and then that's who got me and Andrews.
I think
Yeah, those
came
cars-
in later.
yeah, I think they picked them up from the garage. Somebody went into that red garage and disappeared, which might have been.
215, 410.
Alright, you have a good
come
one,
to the
Will.
lobby real quick.
10-4. 1 second.
So that was a little bit of a bad on Air One's part because we had no camera and I couldn't see what was going on. Obviously, when they split up, there was a load of chatter on the radio, which happens because we're basically chasing 3 or 4 individuals. But on and off, it was pretty good. The only issue that I saw was that a couple of units. I don't know who was the one that got downed at the end of Alta there.
I think that was me.
Wait, where?
Yeah, you should have. I told you to get out of the area. Like you kept circling. You should have just gotten out of
Oh,
the
no,
area. You
I-
had 2 cars on you. It was 2v1 in that situation with 2 cars with full automatics. You should have just gotten out of the area.
I wasn't circling. I came back the one time and I didn't even realize that they stole a sheriff cruiser. I thought that was one of us. That's why I was there.
Yeah,
with the sheriff cruiser.
we basically said the problem is we couldn't cover like the whole. That sheriff cruiser they stole it from inside the parking lot from behind one of the buildings. We didn't see the guy transfer from vehicle to vehicle. Otherwise, we would have called it
Yeah.
out sooner. But
So that was the issue with me. I saw a sheriff cruiser car driving around, so I thought it was Espinal. So I'm with him shooting the black
Yeah, but I
Vigero.
did
Turns
say-
out that it's him.
yeah,
That
but
it was already too
yeah.
late.
Yeah, I did say don't roll in like at all because they were circling the area constantly. Espinosa had a good idea. He went up on the terrace there, but obviously they followed him in a car and shot him.
Tango
So
576,
there wasn't really much we could have done.
247.
Did that guy
So
rob you or
something-
something? Because he was
Something
like
you guys
right
need
next
to
to.
remember is the gun that you're fighting against in these cases is more often than not going to be the AP pistol, and the AP pistol does the same amount of damage as your AR with less recoil. So you're going to lose in basically every single engagement
boys,
with these
you-
guys
you
unless
hear
you
that?
outnumber them. So you need to stick together and not keep splitting off one by one. Because what they'll do is they'll find you guys when you're on your own.
Who
and
was
they'll
the guy
kill
that
you,
came in
then they'll
here and
do it to
said
the
it
next
was
person, and
versus
they'll
2
pick
AP
you apart
pistols
one
and
by
2
one
heavy
until there's no one
pistols?
left, and that's just what they did again. If you split up, you're going to go down.
Yeah. I was
I have
trying
a
to get
question.
people to group up on Outer Street, but it was we
Tango
just split
523, Pillbox Medical.
I have a
Yeah,
question. What happened
like-
to the 95?
They got broken out of custody.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
so
held
three of us
Andrews
got
at
held at
hostage.
gunpoint with
No.
basically AR class.
Now, if you
If we had
you knew he
ARs,
was a high-value
Fontes, those
target,
cars
how
would
come
have
you guys
blown
went
up a
up
long
front
time
and not the
ago.
back?
Wait,
I
did
don't
you guys
know.
go with on a? You guys
I
got
literally
held up
called
on a
that there was
cruiser?
two vehicles
Yeah.
circling, and then Andrew
If
put it in my car.
if somebody
and
would
let's
have
go.
pulled out the
They loaded up one
762
cruiser around the
AR,
front entrance. Yeah,
What?
hey, we know it's
That-
Buddha though,
that-
so we can write a warrant for him.
Yeah, he had an ID on him.
I think we said it in Air 1 too that they were coming towards Pillbox.
I
I
don't
mean, I called it
understand why
out 3
that call
times.
was
but,
made.
Yeah.
You know, we were still, I don't know. But basically, they had ARs to us. Really couldn't do much. So.
I don't
Yeah.
think Andrews thought they would actually do that. So
Oh,
that's
what do you mean
probably
they
why.
wiped the whole PD?
Yeah, that's
They
Why
also
would-
like
why
hit
would we
my
go in a
car 3
cruiser
times
and
you know,
What was
called
going
out
one
casualties.
cruiser?
so how many of
a
did
target.
everybody go
Tango
down from here?
576, latest 47.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went down almost daily.
Except for
Were you
Serenian,
also down, Reinhardt? I think you were the
Yep,
only
I
one.
was the one in the
Oh,
middle of
okay.
the road.
yeah.
Who
everyone
was
at
in the
hospital that was
UC
leaving
car
down.
though? Was that Andrews?
That was me.
Oh, okay. I didn't even know you were UC, by the way.
I'm not.
I had no idea. I almost. Yeah, but like you were in that UC car, I had no idea. Like at some point, I almost called you as a suspect. If I didn't see the flashing lights, we would have called you as a suspicious car.
Yeah, that's what the lights are for.
Yeah,
big
it
police
didn't help.
vest.
We didn't.
It,
Yeah, we
you
didn't
can barely
have
see the
camera.
lights on that Banshee, by the way, from above.
I understand.
Right, so what do we learn? Don't
So
split up as
the
much.
yeah, don't split up as much. Once a suspect is down, we should do the same thing we did yesterday in training, as in fortify that location, because it was obvious that they came for the one. As soon as one guy went down, they just raced for him. They got any car that they could get their hands on, and they raced there.
Yeah, there was also a lack of comms when shots fired happened. I called status like a few times before I actually heard what was going on.
Yeah, it was probably because the officers were down. Nobody could
Or
respond to
because
them.
we were still dealing with the fire. Like I literally drove in, and the guy pulled the button.
PD should always stick in pairs 222. Definitely be a lot more successful in
stressful when
situations.
you're
We were all in
shot
pairs,
at,
by the way.
having to
There
you know,
weren't
be like,
that
oh yeah,
many
motion
individual
pink, you
cars.
know, like I'm in the middle of a gunfight. I'm not gonna have time to like really call it out. You know?
free to Tango
I'm
5
shit.
direct.
Something I want you guys to consider is
Never
well
gone
is
foot,
the
just fighting. You
tactic
can't
that
fight
they
in
use
cars
very
because we have
effectively is
semi-automatics
they
against
will-
automatics.
they'll
We
stay very
lose every
mobile. Can you let me
time.
go, Astunas?
Yeah, no.
You gotta plead your strength.
They stay very mobile. They identify where you guys are posted up because you guys don't
I'm gonna
move.
go your way.
They'll
I'm
go
gonna
steal
pick
a
up.
vehicle and then they'll ambush you and then they'll go do that rinse and repeat. While I was down there, I saw them swap vehicles like 3 different times and they'd each pull up, roll on you guys, go get another vehicle, come back and roll on the next person who didn't move and stay in the same spot the entire time. You guys can't just keep just standing there hoping for people to come help you. Because it's not going to happen. When you're getting rolled on like that, you guys need to be proactive and move positions, you know? Like, Dark had a chance to load up Resnick and load up me and just fucking peace out. But he just sat there and waited for them to come kill him.
Because Dante was dead in the middle of the road.
Exactly,
Yeah,
but we
it's-
can
No, I
always come
wasn't.
back
But
for
you
him.
got
I
yeah,
was
yeah.
in the
Come
middle of
back.
the road.
Yeah, I
listen,
got you, I got
listen,
you,
listen,
Reinhardt.
listen.
I
Okay,
evacuated you.
listen. The thing is, if there's a officer in the middle of the road and you know you're about to get shot, you don't risk your life for another. You don't risk putting more lives in danger than just the one that's there. Okay, you can't do
Trust
that.
me, I'm sure you know those in the middle of the road aren't gonna like really care if you're like.
PD
I don't know,
pistol is not
worried
as
about your
nasty
own
as you guys
safety,
think.
You know?
Yeah,
It's not
maybe
that
this
bad.
is just me personally, but if
It's
I
not
knew
that-
that there
it's
was
not
an officer
super
that
bad,
had
it's
3 other
not
cops
super
in the
great.
car with them, and they had a chance to get out and get to safety, and in return I had to sacrifice my life for it, I'd say fucking go for it. Send it.
Exactly.
I have an idea.
But what about if we leave and then they get taken kidnapped and just decapitated somewhere in the ocean?
That's unfortunate.
Air one was right above the whole situation. I kept an eye on the whole situation. At some point,
But
we did call out for an extraction.
Consider
And
this, Dark. Hold on 1 second. Consider this, Dark. What if they down everyone and then go kidnap that person and decapitate them anyway, and now you also have those 3 officers dead?
Okay, fair enough.
Because like, how can you justify that if you're getting wiped anyway?
can cops not just get everyone to move out?
That's why,
Yes, that's
Espinosa and I
the
loaded him
thing.
up and got out of there.
Yeah, at the end of the day, our lives are what's most important. If you can't secure your suspect and you can't secure the scene, then get out.
Oh no, it didn't go in my ass, sir.
The problem is,
Not my ass.
some
Hopefully you
people
can
stayed in
regroup
their
and
cars,
get
some
the heck
people
out,
didn't.
Regroup, cut your losses, and then try again to save those people who are still down. Because I would understand completely. If I got shot up and I was bleeding out in my car and you guys needed to get to safety, I would understand it.
So something I'm really surprised that we don't use a lot. So for an example, last night.
What I don't really understand is,
and the officers that were up, we have like 10 channels that we have access to in the radio that are just for us. We're the only ones that have access to them. I'm surprised we don't swap channels when there's officers down, because then criminals can literally go, oh hey, Angel's like underneath the bridge to the left side, go shoot her. You know what I mean? Like, they can hear our radio just as much as we can hear theirs. So why aren't we swapping radio channels? When we have the ability to.
The reason I didn't suggest that we swap radios is because the suspects were mobile and they didn't have an officer with them. So I think it would just cause more confusion to switch radios in that situation.
No, I got it. Like, I understand that, but like, why don't we use that more? Because last
whenever an
night,
officer's
Chang had the
kidnapped,
ability
that's it.
to go to every single officer, rob them, listen to their radio of you guys being like, oh, I'm in this book. Oh, I'm across the way behind this rock. Oh, I'm up in the air right now.
you'll be swapping constantly because you're
You see
gonna.
what I'm saying?
Yeah,
They have
no,
the
it's
ability
not.
to- they can swap radio channels whenever they want to. So
Yeah,
why don't we?
the we can do that. The only reason why that wasn't really an issue here is that they were in cars rolling around. They weren't sitting next to a cop to listen to
I'm
them.
just like asking that as a question, not as like this. They should have used, for this situation.
If you can identify that they potentially know where you are because of your radio, then yeah. But that's
Okay.
going to be the commanding officer to make that call. Not going to be just for any time they can hear you to say.
Yeah, no, I'm just like wondering, not like
All right, so where are we at with this?
Talking.
Well, all in
what we
all,
did.
it's pretty good. It's just more cover and be more aware of cars and shooting at cars. These 2 guys that were left, they were just swapping cars, coming back, shooting. Swapping cars, coming back, shooting. That was all they were doing.
The thing I did notice is like everybody kept saying I got one running this way, I got one running that way, and I had no idea what the fuck they looked like. So me coming, because we were coming from Polito, and that's all I was hearing until Dark finally gave a description of I got one individual dressed in all black, and I'm like, finally somebody gave a description. So remember, like, what are we chasing and where are they going? Because then at one point then we had everybody in the tunnels, which kind of we cornered ourselves in there.
Yeah, and like I told them, I don't know if you heard, but during that, once we got into the city, the camera I was using on the helicopter was scuffed, so I had to make all the calls from looking out the window. So that's didn't help. I had to just do my best from that angle. So basically, that whole firefight down next to the construction yard, I had to do. Daryl and I had to basically tag team it because I could only see through my window. I look out my window.
Yeah.
I couldn't see it through my camera. Couldn't use thermals.
Well, here's the thing. At that point, you're effectively useless, and you should get on a rooftop and shoot at them from the rooftop instead of sitting in the helicopter, because everyone could take those comms. Because the whole point of having a passenger is to be using the camera or to be a mobile gunner, and if you can't do either of those things, then you should just get out of the helicopter. He should drop you on a skyscraper and do the comms himself.
Okay.
Obviously,
The
that's going to be a call for the individual pilot to make, but that's just something to consider going forward.
I had a question, Andrews. So what was the reasoning of leaving the hospital with one cop car with a high value target? Just like we extracted him and we wanted to. I mean, I don't know.
What was the reasoning for what?
For extracting the individual from pillbox to MRPD with only one police vehicle when we already knew that there's 2 mobile vehicles that are looking for the individual.
Because we have this dude just sitting in the hospital. We're gonna hold him hostage in the hospital.
Well, we could have just waited until more officers were treated, right? To have more power.
Yeah, yes, we
Dispatch
could have.
Tango 5. Show that last 911 UTO. Back to Nate.
Did
I don't think we
anybody
expected them to do
anybody
that.
anybody voice that?
Well, I was down, so I couldn't say anything.
I mean, I called out the 2 vehicles about 3 times.
410 gonna be
and it was
76.
just kind of like,
Still
oh,
box
okay.
from medical.
So when Buddha did get taken from us, how many
Gonna be
cops were
10-7 a few
up?
mics upon arrival.
Only me.
I think you had like 5 or 6 officers out of 2 were still in there. 1, or maybe 3 that were on foot. You, Pred, and Dante.
Okay.
It doesn't matter. It's
Yeah, it doesn't.
That's
It really
you know.
doesn't.
To be
Just try
honest,
to warrant.
that's something that it's a different story whatsoever. I guess we can get them treated at another hospital from now on.
I mean, medical's always reached out to us
'cause,
and told us we can go to a different hospital if we really need to.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, well, we could try that.
I did lay into them as they left, though. I think
But
I
who
took
was-
one of them out.
Who was the first person taking charge of that incident?
It was Air 1 was taking all the calls.
All right,
I
so
was
it's
telling
fine
Toretti
that
what to call out, and Toretti was calling them out on the radio.
yeah, it's fine for Air 1 to take the call outs and give directions and all that. But I think somebody on the ground should probably step up and be like, Air 1, you do this. Officers, let's go do that.
Yeah, I
That
think
makes sense.
I think at one point we eventually when
Saying, I
a
know what
bunch
he's
of
saying,
officers went down, I think
but
Daryl
that's
and I
not that's not the reason for
tried to do that.
what happened earlier.
But it might have been a little too late at that point because they were just hunting in their cars. So
Yeah, I did tell the officers to start extracting. Is people kept coming back,
Yep.
and that's the only thing that I don't really understand is if you guys would have extracted and you would have stayed at the hospital, they would have picked their boy up and they would have left. But what you did do, in this weird strategy that they have in their head, you gave them more downed officers so they could just attack the hospital.
it seems like to be the thing now is attacking the hospital to get your people out. So
It's almost very interesting how they knew that the second person wasn't rolled out as well, since they left the area for a little bit of time. That's kind of interesting to me too.
Yeah, it's whatever at this point. So let's try something different next time. I'm gonna stay off the radio for the next whatever incident. I want somebody to pipe up and say, hey, I'm taking this incident. Somebody go grab Air 1. Let's get officers going into this. Let's get officers doing that. Can we try that?
sounds good.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do it unless it's really dire. So
Tango 5, show me 76 to the
All
latest
right.
911.
And then just
So
try to
don't look
listen
to-
to your
don't look to
radio.
me.
Because, I mean, I heard 2 people. And granted, you guys were in the same fucking car. I didn't know that. I'm sorry. I heard 2 people yell out, I'm getting Air 1. I'm getting Air 1.
No,
Yeah,
it's just
was
that
because-
Toretti doesn't sometimes. He was with like 3 other people in that transport, and he couldn't hear the radio.
Yeah, they
User
were
in your channel
screaming.
timed out.
Those people from the DLC. They had like some narrator guy and like 3 other green guys in there, and they were just yelling. I couldn't hear anything.
All right.
sounds good.
But these circles after, let's try not to do the finger point fucking it's not my fault, your fault. That's what it kind of sounded like me coming into the room. The debrief should be like, hey, this worked, but this didn't. Let's try this differently.
So Rhino, what really worked last? I think last night the key was just patience.
Yeah.
The meeting
so,
of the shooting, yes.
And Air 1, those were the biggest factors.
For those who weren't here last night, we had a very large shootout with Changing. It was a Polito Bank robbery. They then led officers to the railway system over by the lumber yard. They had one individual sitting on the bridge hauling a train. The train came through, hit a bunch of vehicles. Officers jumped off the side to save their own life. Some of them went down, and 2 of their boys fell off the bridge as well and were injured. They had 2 of them up. Air 1 had originally thought that all officers, they had already left the area. Officers were down, and so they went to go land. When they landed, Copper got taken hostage by, I guess it was Rami at the time. He was wearing a white suit. Officer shot at Rami, so then there was just Chang left. We had Bo at one point sitting in a corner, like by a rock. Copper, after Copper was released from suspects
Is what makes
custody
people
after
afraid of
getting
taking
shot,
control of the
shot,
system.
she
They're
ran
afraid
into a
of-
bush.
I think so,
waited.
and I said that yesterday.
Other officers that arrived on scene.
And I've said that
were
a
on top
bunch.
of the
Like,
hill.
we're
They
not
got
here to
shot
fucking
up.
finger point.
We had a
We all played a
couple
part in,
also
this
get
thing
shot as
shitty.
well.
And
or fell
just saying,
into
hey,
the
you did
river.
this fucking stupidly.
We had
you
myself,
shouldn't have done it this
Espinosa
way.
was
It's
in
gonna
Air 1,
just prevent
second
people from
Air
wanting
1,
to take
Legacy
control.
Pilot Air 2, calling out
And
where
and I
the
keep saying
vehicle
this to these
was. So
guys,
Chang was
like,
the
there's
last
no
one.
perfect way
He
to
was
do
in
police
Vinny
work.
Pistone's car,
Unfortunately,
circling the area
unfortunately,
multiple
police work
times
is a
in the
lot of
canyon,
unknown.
by Cassidy Trail.
It's a lot of fucking unknown, and we just
Copper
go
was
off the
waiting in a
training
bush,
experience
didn't
of
move,
what
didn't say
might have
anything,
worked the last time. It
just-
might not work
just
the
sat
next
there and
time.
waited and held a spot where she could look over to the suspects that were down on the ground and wait for Chang to roll in and grab his boys. And that's when she shot him up. Basically, we had officers that were up. We had officers in all angles.
It can also, yeah,
We had,
it does.
crossfire covered. It was just patience. It was sitting in bushes. It was waiting. It was.
Randy Bullet's getting, it's fucking getting, he's getting.
It was a lot of communication and a lot of work. Air 1 gave call-outs where the car was going, what locations, etc., and it worked really well. I think it was,
Fortnite bush struts.
everything went great. Granted, a lot of officers went down, but we were able to get all of the suspects and put them into jail.
Yeah, that's exactly what we trained yesterday. That was a
Yeah.
lot of patience and just coming up with a different strategy of doing things.
I mean, it worked really well.
So I know a lot of you probably got a lot of brain aids from that shit yesterday, but do not do anything differently. If you thought that was the right call, 'cause ultimately you got the person in custody and patience was the game.
I mean, it seems like the strategy is their whole goal is to rob us and get their guys out so they don't get arrested. So if we down one of them, if we're able to converge on that and hold that,
Tango 5,
then I think
76
we
Publix Medical
could
with a 147.
be okay. Because that's their whole goal. Because that's what happened last night. We just held the suspects and kept a crossfire on them, and waited for them to try to extract, and that's when we took them out.
So
you might get a
something that-
complaint. Might get a complaint of like, why aren't you trying to get your other officers out and stuff
Yeah,
like
we
that.
had
But your little argument is you can't do that safely.
Tango 5,
No,
23,
The
we're
minute
getting
you try to
hunted by
go
47 cars.
exactly, so you do your job. The number one goal is officer safety. You eliminate the threat. You figure out where the threat is. Figure out how to deal with that threat, and then you get the officer out.
So something that we also kind of learned was having patience has been a really big thing. And sometimes we can't shoot out cars. We're not that cool enough to shoot out from our vehicle, which
Maybe you're
can
not.
be. Well, I know I'm not. Jeez. When they have an automatic weapon in that car and they're shooting it out, and we have a pistol, it can be very discouraging, and that happens. They're gonna want to sit in their vehicle, like Angel said. They want to be mobile. They want to have the ability to get the advantage on us.
Yep. And getting mobile, it's a tough thing to deal with. That's what I think the downfall of a lot of our incidents is allowing them to get mobile.
Dispatch, Tango 5, show me back to Nate.
So maybe for one of these strategies, I know, again, it might bring some aids, but trying to prevent somebody from getting mobile is one key thing that we can do.
Yeah, and also do not use your car as cover anymore. They ran me over. They rammed my car that I was using as cover to run me over, and then shot me. And then they did it to somebody else too. So
Yeah,
I
it is
was,
a
In
shepherd.
fairness, I do that to them all the time. So
I'm just saying for us,
Why?
we shouldn't be using the car as cover because if they're in cars and they're shooting, they're gonna.
they do
He had
what you
no
do.
way of
It's
shooting me
It's fair play.
unless he hit the car first, knocked me over, and then shot me. So
But
I think just be careful
So-
using your car as cover.
What I will say is, yeah, that strategy is good. The one that you guys used last night. Let's not do anything that's shitlordy. You know what I mean? Just try to keep it somewhat making sense.
I mean, I tried to do the whole sneak through things, you know, hide behind a rock, you know, so I didn't get shot. So
Yeah.
I mean, use the wilderness to your advantage, you know,
Yep.
but because they ran out there. I mean, they took the car and they ran through bushes trying to find officers. So I mean, I'm not gonna, you know.
No, what you guys did, I was maybe watching on a TV what occurred, and a lot of us did go down, but the last few that were left were playing very tactically, and that's what we got to do sometimes. So
I just think, you know, just don't let them be mobile. You know, yeah, last night we had one guy mobile with a heavy pistol, and I got shot 3 times and I had an AR in hand, so.
The heavy pistol is deadly.
Yeah, it is actually. All
right.
But, I mean, just kind of, you know, keep comms, etc.
okay. And just a heads up, might be a few or a bunch of changes coming from like SOPs and whatnot. My goal the next coming days is I'm gonna reach out to some of our crim leaders and just kind of have a sit down with them and see what's working and what's not working, and see how we can come to some sort of happy medium of things so that everybody's having a great time. So there may be a few changes that come to how we do things, but of course you guys will know. I'm not going to just drop it on you and be like, hey, do this now.
Can we actually use spike strips now?
Yeah.
You can always use spike strips.
No,
no one ever said you couldn't.
Yeah, you can use spike strips. What do you mean?
Just
So
ask for permission.
The other day, we had I think when I don't know, it was a couple days ago, we had a jewelry store robbery with the Chang Gang once again. And
One second.
spike strips failed to work. They literally drove over them, and there was like 3 sets down, and none of them worked. So that's why I'm pretty sure people are asking if spike strips actually do something, because they didn't.
Yeah, the shooting tires thing is, we should probably rethink. Jesus Christ.
Oh, jeez.
I think that's Angel just trying to clear the lobby.
Oh yeah.
You guys can come back in here. I think it's just Angel trying to clear the lobby.
Yeah, I'm just clearing the lobby. Don't worry about it.
The shooting tire thing it's a little weird, and my thing on doing shooting tires while a car is rolling, I know it comes from both sides, and like I said, I'm just gonna have this chat and see how we can come to this medium of things that work and don't work, and that causes irritation on both sides. If you're shooting at a car, I mean, you might as well just shoot at them, because I mean, bullets, unfortunately, you can't account for where the bullets travel. So I mean, if we go in court and we're like, hey, I accidentally shot this person, but I was trying to fucking hit their tire, and we weren't justified to shoot them, we're gonna look like idiots. We're gonna be the assholes.
No problem.
And that incident at the jewelry store was like, it was a clear case of that. Because they were saying like, hey, we were trying to shoot the tire, but we were like unloading on the car. So let's kind of calm down with the shooting on tires until we can figure out something that works a little bit better.
So much, Officer Valentine.
It's alright.
Okay, are we talking about like if they're shooting at us, like, or are we talking?
No,
about,
if they're
like,
shooting
just,
at
like,
you,
leaving
I
the
mean,
robbery?
obviously,
'Cause, like, if they're shooting
you're,
at me, I'm gonna shoot their tires.
you're perceived
and
as
send them into a wall,
they're
yeah.
shooting at you. They're trying to kill you. That's the threat.
Well,
I'm
yeah,
talking
I'm gonna shoot
about
the tires
that
and send them
jewelry
into a fucking
store
wall.
thing was a clear, like, there was no real threat, kind of, you know, even though they robbed the jewelry store, blah blah blah, whatever.
So
there was no real threat, but the spike strips didn't work, so we're gonna try to shoot the tires, but then we had like assault rifles.
I mean, they also asked Rhodes to shoot himself in the leg repeatedly a few times to,
Yeah.
you know, as a demand. We said no. They threatened the hostage. They kept threatening the hostage. Snowda said that that's not going to happen, and I don't know if that was the result of shooting the tires or what, but I mean, they literally like told Rhodes, to shoot himself in the foot. And then
But
they said that they were
here's-
going to shoot the hostage. You know,
here's the
so I
thing,
don't know if that was like.
unless something has changed. Yeah, I don't think I can do that.
Well, that was their demand, and then they threatened to shoot the hostage. You know, so they had to, like,
I
talk
get
them
it.
out of doing that.
I gotta get it. I get it. I get it.
So I don't know if that's like, I don't know what their thought process was shooting tires, but I mean, I'm just, maybe that was it. I don't.
Yeah, like I said, let me just try to brainstorm something a little bit better. Because anytime we shoot tires, what happens?
We get shot.
Okay.
But I mean,
I don't think that's the answer he was looking for.
I mean, that's true though. We do
Yeah,
get shot.
no, that is the answer I was looking for. That's
okay.
exactly what happens.
Okay,
It escalates into a big ass shooting, and then it's just like, who started that shooting?
Why not just go around the
At that point, it'd be us, right? Because we
Yeah.
shot tires.
So, and that's just for that one incident. Like I said, if they're driving away and they're fucking shooting at your car trying to pop your tires, yeah, that's a threat. They're trying to kill you. Do what you got to do back. But if we're trying to prevent,
Something I
Go
want to
ahead.
bring up, Andrews. A while ago, when we had a lot of cop cars being stolen, So's solution was just to shoot their tires out, and we've been doing that basically ever since. At least I have been. Do we want to hold off on shooting cop car tires out when they get stolen as well, or?
yeah, there's always these what ifs, and I unfortunately don't have the best answer for that. Because again, it's just a car. At the end of the day, it's a property crime. There's nothing in there that's of value. I mean, we can act like there's a gun in the center, but is there really a gun in the center?
Yes.
I know it's fucking irritating. I trust me, it is fucking AIDS, and it's stupid. It doesn't make sense, whatever have you. But is our escalation of any of that gonna resolve anything?
No, you're right. It's just gonna get us shot quicker.
Because I'm
Without any time to respond.
I'm just thinking back. I mean, old Andrews would have been like, yeah, let's fuck him up. This is stupid. This is dumb. This is, let's do whatever they do to us tenfold back. But at the end of the day, if you really think, you just take a big look back, is any of this gonna fix anything?
I mean,
well, I mean, I guess at that point we kind of have to evaluate, like, what are we here for? Are we here
Yeah.
to actually
that's-
stop crime, or
and
are we
this
here to
is-
prevent an illusion of
And
it?
this is the reason why I'm gonna sit down with a lot of our major gang and criminals and whatnot, and kind of ask like what it is that makes you upset about the police, and then we'll have this conversation as well. I'm sure I already know a lot of it, but after we have this conversation, I'm gonna bring that to the table to you guys and just like, hey, this is what everybody is saying. This is kind of what they want us to do, and then we'll try to come to a happy medium, and then we'll get that out to everybody. Because I would like this outdoor hate and animosity that a lot of people feel to stop. So I think we just got to learn and adapt to each other. Because I mean, every week there's something new, right? There's something new that a crim does, and it's just like, this is stupid that they're doing this, and then we'll get into this this circle like this, and then we'll be like, well, we'll do this back, and it's like, well, is that resolving anything?
No, not really. It's just that we need to adapt a little bit better to what happens. Don't just go like, oh, this is stupid, this is dumb. Just, adapt to it and get a better outcome. If not, then extract, and that's it.
Yeah.
We don't have to shoot them down or put them in prison every time. If we're outnumbered or outgunned or whatever, we can always extract. We have the.
But I've heard arguments on that as well.
Well.
I've heard arguments from like, why are you guys just leaving? We're the worst criminals right now.
Well,
You should be pursuing us. You should be pushing and advancing towards us.
but so
Well, listen, if we don't play into their hands, we're the worst. If we play into their hands, we're the worst. I mean, there's no win-win situations. I'd rather not get shot.
That's the
out of
thing.
both
That
of
I've-
those.
That's the thing I've always felt like it's not to a lot of people. It's not about, our safety. It's about finishing the fight, even though there's no need to. The point's already been proven. We're just trying to save ourselves. It's like everyone just wants to finish the fight.
I mean, I'll be honest. I mean, you're never gonna please everybody. Okay, you can't please both sides. Just say fuck it. You know.
Of course, and
But I'm not gonna like the other night.
it's gonna be a bunch of them. It's gonna be like a huge project that I'm gonna do.
There was a Polito bank robbery. They drove down past the lighthouse, and I literally called on radio. I said, "We're walking into an ambush."
I can't hear half of what you're saying, Reinhardt.
Yeah,
You're cutting
you
out.
need to...
Sorry, I was like whispering. So
In character
then
OC talk. That's gonna be
Polito
OC.
bank robbery.
Off stream.
Because that's something that happens all the time now. They drove past the lighthouse down Catfish View, and I said on radio, one of us is gonna have to either get a boat, because there's a dock at the end, or we're walking into an ambush. And 30 seconds after I said that, we walked into an ambush. I don't know about you, but I'm really not happy with having 7 ambushes within a day, repeatedly over and over again every single day of the week.
And
It's
I
one
get
thing,
that.
it's like once in a while,
But here's, I say this to you then. Who else knows that aside from us in this room?
such as like ambushes, like how many
No,
times they happen a day, or like
your hatred for ambushes. Who else knows aside from maybe people watching your TV show or your fellow officers?
I don't know. I mean, I'm just saying, like, I mean, I'll walk into an ambush, but I don't know if you guys want us to back out.
What I'm trying to say is, have you ever voiced that to the other side? Is like, hey, I hate these ambushes.
People or anything like that.
I have.
No, because when I bring it up, everyone's like, oh, well, just roll with the punches. And I'm like, okay, well, I do that, but then, 20 seconds later, there's another ambush, so.
I was
I don't
told to
know.
get good.
Yeah, that's kind of what we always were told. You just get good and deal with it.
And like I said, this is the goal of what I'm trying to do. Is I'm gonna, like I said, try to talk to everybody. It's gonna be a long project. It's not gonna be something that's gonna happen overnight. And the transition to whatever we try to adapt to, it's not gonna be overnight, and it's gonna be trial and error. So forgive me now if a lot of the shit that comes out from like high command of whatever SOP changes come. If they don't work, just give it time to so that we can make the appropriate changes.
Yeah, like everybody was saying, it's impossible to make everybody happy.
The beautiful thing about this place is, and just like the stuff that gets introduced and whatever gets placed in the city, is that it can change at any time, and it's always, this is like an ongoing like alpha game that's never gonna be completed. If that makes sense.
This is something that's always going to go backwards and
it's
forwards.
always exactly. It's
no
always.
matter how many times you big dick these guys, they just try to one up you.
And that's always going to happen. I mean, if you guys can, whoever's been around long enough, like think back to like 2 years ago when this place first started, how different it is now. Just like some of the stuff that we deal with, like report writing, the DOJ, and like some of the bank robberies and the current city metas and stuff like that. It's always changing. Always. And I think we're at a point where a lot of people are kind of fed up with the way that the current city meta is, and they're just want to do their own thing or whatever. But we gotta try to learn and adapt with each other. We gotta play nice with the crims. I mean, if you think about it, outside of this world, we're supposed to be like friends, just playing a video game,
I think yesterday it was and training it was explained like better. Like the more we do these things with each other and work together in these situations, the easier it will become overall. But it's just every time it's like a different group of people, so it's just like brand new. So the more we just do these things with each other, the easier things will become in general to handle.
Yeah. But just think as the criminals as your partners. I know it's hard to imagine that or think that, but we need each other. If without them, we have nothing to do. Without us, they have no type of fun in doing any type of crime.
Shit, be like Saints Row Online.
Right?
Flying dildos everywhere.
Oh.
So, I mean, I guess the moral of this story is just going on from now, just try to understand And if you have an issue or you perceive an issue with somebody on the other side, maybe send them a quick message. A message goes a long way. Try not to complain to your TV screen or complain to yourself. Just try to get a message out to them and schedule some sort of chat.
But I guess it's like, how do you want us to deal with, like, if I can easily tell that there's an ambush happening and there's officers that, you know, I have enough time to be like, officers, just back out. Like, do you want us to just back out, or do you want us to just like go in full guns a-blazing? Like, because sometimes we're told, no, just, you know, back out and go back on patrol. And sometimes we're told
Back out of the ambush,
you know,
and go back on patrol.
Yeah.
I mean, try to deal. If you perceive it. So yesterday we talked about how to deal with the ambushes. If you perceive it, don't follow directly into the ambush. I mean, try to perceive it, go around and do something different.
Do some big brain shit. Become the angel of death.
But I mean, what I'm trying to say, like, it has nothing to do with the ambush. And I know you're bringing up the ambush because you hate the fucking ambushes.
No, it's
and
not. I'm just like asking as a general question because
No, yeah.
I've been told by other high command, you know, if you perceive that and you're like, oh man, this is going to be an ambush, then back out. Like, this is what we've been told previously. I'm not saying I hate it.
I mean, you can back out and then plan ahead, get Air 1 out, survey the area.
Try and still do
flank the
something about
area.
it. Don't just leave.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm trying to gauge. Is like, I'm not saying like I hate it. Like I don't.
No, nobody's telling you to ignore the.
That's
ignoring.
That's
And
what I'm
again,
trying to say, though.
so I want you to think this: if I do this, will this be a positive effect on the city, or will it be a negative effect on the city? I know that's you.
Okay.
I know you have to think about a lot before you do whatever it is you're gonna do. Like, we gotta make split-second decisions, but the goal of what we do here should be positive for everybody. And Angel was right. We're not gonna please everybody. There's gonna be a select few, but
something I want to say about that is like it seems it's like a double standard of doing quote unquote big brain shit. You know, like whenever I do something that is smart and kind of a little bit tricky, people get mad about it, and whenever a criminal does it, it's pretty freaking awesome. You know,
but who was getting mad?
You know, I mean, I think we're trying. No, like both sides kind of, you know, happy about the other side doing big brain shit is what I mean, right? But in front of that, it's not even really that big of a point. What I really wanted to say earlier is, you said reach out to people. There's been 3 different times I reached out to people and they ignore my DMs and they never respond to them. So I don't think we can really rely on that without a third party to mediate some kind of conversation, because most people just won't respond.
All right.
You know?
Okay, then message me and I'll try to reach out with you. That's all we can do. If they are refusing, then we'll try another avenue. But this is honestly all we can do to try to coexist properly.
Yeah, I agree 100%.
Don't worry.
Because yeah, something does have to change.
So that's all I'm asking. I mean, because it's getting to a point where I can see a lot of people aren't having fun. And I'm gonna be honest, like I've been in the salty mood, and I've succumbed to being salty on my TV screen as well. And just like thinking back to those days, it causes more fucking headaches than it actually does good. Because then, you know, you bitch to your TV screen, and then that shit ends up on another website, and then that person goes on that website and sees the shit, and then you just have like 2 fucking people mad at each other, and then they start bringing it into the game, and then you have this fucking out of here rivalry that's leaked in here, and it just makes shit fucking awkward and stupid.
I don't know. From what I've learned, don't listen to the website. I know it's a lot of people say
Yeah,
it,
but that
but
doesn't. I mean, it doesn't work. And like, and you can be, you can say that all you want, but if you see something about you, obviously it's still gonna affect you. It's still gonna be like, it's still gonna hurt a little bit.
When I was
Regardless.
getting like, you know, 500 comment threads consistently every single day, it broke me as a person, and I legit was losing hair and I couldn't sleep. But you could say it's not going to affect you, but it'll affect you.
Yeah, it affects people. Trust me.
Like I
Been there,
just
done.
about quit completely because of that shit.
No, I'm not
Come
gonna
back here,
lie.
AJ. Where
Alright.
you going?
I'm not gonna lie. I've had times where things have been said.
Come back here,
where,
AJ.
You know, it's just made me want to bet on myself, and I've said to like most of the people in this room anyway that I want to push for the next step in PD. You know,
Hello.
I've seen people.
Where you going, buddy?
My decisions I've made. In
Oh
the
no,
past,
just
and
against some
I'm just
body
gonna
armor.
Say fuck it, get better, become better, and soon I'll be loved.
The fuck was that? Holy shit!
I mean, it's
hold,
just
hold on.
when you try to do something and listen to those things, I'm gonna agree with Angel. It hurts. Like
It does.
It's
So,
not easy
100%.
to like.
It's hard to
then
ignore, and the amount of times we can say like, "Yeah, just ignore it." It's fucking hard, but
It's like when you're in the middle of doing, your little TV screen, and you got like 800 people coming in, and like making this little snipe
that's not gonna stop. And
I know.
a
It's
great
still,
person that I actually had a
demoralizes you.
conversation with recently, he said it right. Like any little thing that you say or hint at something or whatever, it just fucking sets everybody off. And that's that's not gonna change. That's just how that operates, unfortunately.
You could be hiding.
I know, but it's
And
it
a lot of
demoralizes
us
you,
a lot of us are new to this and don't really know how to handle that, and that's not anybody else's fault. So I hate that the TV screen is kind of intermingled with the city so much that it causes things to be changed and whatever. But it is what it is. We just got to deal with it. But like I was saying earlier, don't take what the brain aids is saying to you as fucking fact. If you have an issue, just kind of ignore it and then reach out to the person after your TV screen's off and like you talk things out. You'll be surprised. You'll think that somebody doesn't like you or dislikes you or whatever, and then you talk to this person and then you're just like, dude, that's actually pretty cool.
Yeah, it's sexy too.
All right. So
Listen, I
like
haven't
said,
met the guy, but Randy Burlett loves you all. Just saying.
Yeah, I met him yesterday.
I steal his.
I met Randy yesterday. I met Randy yesterday, and like I said, like I'm guilty of it as well. Randy was an asshole, but me and Randy had a long conversation, and me and Randy are good. Randy's a cool person.
I just steal his body armor and call it good, and then I give it back to him later the day. So.
I still
As
think
much
Randy's
as-
an asshole.
As much as like a lot of people are gonna be like, whenever we deal with chain gang, it's a fucking headache, right? But how much crazy shit have you seen from that group?
I mean,
How much
last
crazy
night-
shit are you like, what the fuck? How do they even think of this shit?
It's true.
I've
Not a lot, honestly. I don't really. am around
I've
for
seen
much of
Chang
stuff.
for a long fucking time, and he is that group has come up with some of the, I could say the craziest things. I just sat there and scratched in my head for an hour, thinking like, I'll try and go back and think of how they did it, and I still can't piece it together. I
They
mean,
do
honestly,
crazy
they're all good people. They are criminals, but they're all
They
good
are.
people.
Mhm,
And
absolutely.
everybody, there's, like I said, there's a few salty few that we'll never be able to get a hold of, but all of these people that put together these elaborate fucking plans and do all this shit for us, they are good guys. And when you talk to them with everything off and just like lay it out on the table, they listen, and you can bounce shit back off each other and actually have a conversation.
And I just steal their body armor and then give it back the next day. They'll be okay.
Yeah, you can do that.
They can afford it.
So good.
So like I said, it's gonna be a long project for me, but we're gonna get it done. AJ over here and McLean and our class clown Rami, they're gonna be kind of ambassadors for this.
Conan.
And oh yeah,
Rami.
fucking
Oh,
Rami.
God bless
Yeah,
him.
Wow,
they sound the
do we have
fucking
a
same.
new
I'm
class
sorry. Okay. Conan Clarkson. They're gonna kind of be ambassadors for this, and I mean, if they see something and they think that something should be different, they're gonna voice it, and we should actually listen. All right, they got cousins that play this on the other side all the time, and I think they a lot of the things that they say are the voice of reason, so we should listen. All right.
100%.
So I hope nobody's mad from this conversation or anything.
No, absolutely not. I mean, as long like at the end of the day, as long as I have a good time and no one's getting mad, I don't really see a problem with it. You could put a Nerf gun in my hands, and as long as it's still at least the fun things, I don't care.
Yep.
Oh, Nerf gun. I got a Nerf gun.
I'll still kill people with it.
I mean, do you think we can get a couple Nerf guns and just be like Nerf wars and PD? You think
That'd be
that
awesome.
can happen?
Can we have a de-stress room?
It was fun when what's his face was doing the taser tag down in the what was that, the docks?
Michael's Jr. I think.
Yeah, that was fun.
Norm did one
Alright.
too. He did taser tennis.
Trooper Andrews, you have
Yes,
a
sir.
Solomon outside who has need to have a conversation with you.
What's new? Everybody wants to have a conversation with me.
Yeah,
I
this
wish I
is
could just like clone myself.
So
Complain
this is
about
me.
what?
I don't know. Well, I do know.
Angel, what did your husband do?
I think I heard him say something about bend over so I can see that ass or some shit. I heard him yelling that earlier. So.
Oh yeah, he was
I need
hitting
to
on a
go-
girl up
I need
there
to go
pretty
stab
hard.
him.
And
Alright,
that
you do that.
person may be mentally troubled.
Jesus Christ. All right,
Someone
anybody
go-
have?
No, I'm just gonna go
I
finish
gotta-
my reports and go back on patrol.